It's not just any day, it's this day, and you're here for it. Hello everyone, I'm Cooper VanDriessche, and thank you for joining us on this digital edition of Shamrock Sports, where we look back at the week that was at the 89th Annual Masters Tournament. It is now my pleasure to welcome in NDTV's golf insider Leo Romano. Leo, what a gift we treated you over 4 days of intense competition at Augusta National.
It truly was a gift, Cooper. And we came into the week expecting a lot, and it sure delivered, right? The big storylines heading into the week were Scottie Scheffler being able to potentially etch his name next to Jack Nicklaus as the only two golfers to capture 3 green jackets in 4 consecutive starts. And obviously, Rory McIlroy's opportunity to capture a career Grand Slam.
You talk about the storyline, and the Masters had every type of story a patron could have wanted: the drama, the finish, the ending, all of it and above. And we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge up front the accomplishments of Rory McIlroy. 11 years after winning his last major tournament, he gets it done this weekend and wins his first green jacket to complete the Grand Slam. But how did he get there? Well, we start our coverage on day one, and the story of day one was Justin Rose. Leo, what a day Justin Rose had. 65 to open up his tournament. What do you think of his performance, and ultimately what happened to Rory on day one?
Yeah, so to start with Justin Rose, everything about his game really impressed me on Thursday. When you shoot a 65 at Augusta in tournament conditions, every part of your game has to be dialed in. And he certainly was. Now, his putting stood out to me most, okay? He made an amazing 30-footer for birdie on 1, obviously birdie 2, and then his par save on 5 was unreal, that it even had him laughing.
Right.
And then Rory also put a very solid round together, but ultimately fell up short with the doubles on 15 and 17 to finish at a tie for 27th after the first day. Other notable names, right? Scottie Scheffler played really well. He shot 68. DeChambeau was right there with him. So it was a fun day of golf on Thursday.
And you mentioned Rory. No Masters champion has been outside the top 10 after day one, but he had some history to write, and we'll talk about that more as the weekend goes on. And for the sake of time, we're going to move past Friday and on to Saturday on a moving day. But to know it was a big day for Rory and his comeback, like we were just talking about, that path to the championship. Let's talk about moving day, because it was, in its name, a moving day.
Yeah, it was really fun. I like to watch the early morning action to see what is ahead this afternoon. And that morning, Spieth shot 69 and Zach Johnson fired a 66. So I knew that there was good golf out there. And McIlroy played good golf right away. He fired 6 consecutive threes to start out his round on Saturday and propelled him into a lead that he had pretty big over the rest of the field. It wasn't until DeChambeau birdied 3 of the last 4 to get within 2 to set up what would be a U.S. Open rematch
on Championship Sunday. And Championship Sunday, everybody thought it would be that 2-horse race between McIlroy and DeChambeau, but that's not what happened. We had a familiar name get back on the leaderboard.
Yeah, Justin Rose made his way back on that back 9, but I want to start at the beginning of the round where McIlroy and DeChambeau were trading shots back and forth, a lot of 2-shot swings. DeChambeau actually had the lead after 2, but you're right. DeChambeau kind of sank into the background, and McIlroy started running away with it until he put the ball in the water on 13. That was a bad shot.
And it would end up being a series of a little bit of misfires for McIlroy that would end up leading to a playoff with Justin Rose, the first time since 2017 where Justin Rose was also a participant. What did that playoff look like, and then ultimately how was Rory able to get it done?
Yeah, of course. So earlier on 17, he hit a great shot to set up a birdie try, ultimately failed to make par on the last. And in the playoff, he got it done with the wedge shot that he didn't get it done with in regulation, right? So he took, I think it was a gap wedge he mentioned from 125 right after Rose's 8-iron from 157 and threw an absolute dart. He used the backstop to his advantage and ultimately had 2 feet to become the 6th man to win a career Grand Slam.
First since Tiger Woods to get that Grand Slam. It was an outstanding weekend of golf for Rory, and you could see the weight lifted off his shoulders. And Leo, what's left for Rory in his plate?
There's a lot left. I think he's playing some of the best golf of his career right now. And I'm looking for Jordan Spieth actually to get the 7th career Grand Slam out of the way come Quail Hollow in the PGA Championship in May.
The first in over 2 decades, could make it 2 in just 2 months. We'll just have to see what happens for Spieth. But McIlroy again, an outstanding weekend of golf for him and getting that weight off his shoulders to become a Masters champion, which is no small feat, Leo, in the world of golf.
No, it's no small feat whatsoever. I'm just super happy for him. As you said, you can tell the amount of weight that lifted off of his shoulders when he won makes his trophies a little shinier.
It's a little shinier for Rory McIlroy. Well, that's been our digital edition of Shamrock Sports covering the 89th Annual Masters Tournament. For Leo Romano, I'm saying so long and be well.